Hi, this is Zach Meir with the US Chartbreakers here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Thursday, the 3rd of August. Starting off with the S&P, where we've got what's effectively an island top with gaps up on the left-hand side and yesterday's gap down. We were fearing 2030. We've actually gone below that, 45.13, and then below that, the possibility of retesting 44.60, which is that old November resistance line projection, which previously the target had now become support. I suppose if things get really bad, we'd go back down to the 50-day line, but at the moment probably 44.60, the target while we're below 45.20. Moving on to the stocks, and obviously there's most of these in a happier place than the S&P at the moment. Starting off with AppTech, and here beautiful gap through neckline resistance, so that was around the $2.10 level. Initial target here up to $3.20 by the end of this month. Big picture target maybe by the end of next month, if all goes well, up to $4.60, which is a February resistance line projection. On the downside, not expecting anything below the floor of that gap, and hence the $2.10 stop loss area. Moving along to another mover and shaker at the moment, and it's Armata. Here we were covering the stock with hoping that the shares would break that line of resistance there from September rather. That's around $2.50, above $2.50 with a breakdown, the V-shaped bull flag that we've got after breaking through the 200-day line, the black line there, looking for $4.50 as soon as the end of this month. So nice turnaround there, started by that classic unfilled gap to the upside through the 50-day moving average off the lows. On to Clearwater, and here we've got, Cardlytics actually, and here we've got broadening triangle here. We had a rather ambitious target there as high as $19. We've gapped up yesterday, so above $11.70, looking for $19 perhaps as soon as the end of this month. So beautiful turnaround there again. The rally here started with the unfilled gap through the 50-day moving average off the lows, bear trap, gap, reversal, and bullish divergence. Moving along to another stock which is looking decent, China Natural. Here we had a little spike up to that line of resistance from March. That's around $3.50. Through to $3.50, we're looking for up to $4 or even $4.80. That could be hit by the end of next month, but we need an end of day close through $3.50 to trigger that. Upside value while we hold above the 200-day line around $2.40. So let's see if China Natural can remain above support. Onto a stock which I was trying to name a few minutes ago, or a couple of minutes ago, Clearwater. Here you can see a massive unfilled gap to the upside, breaking that descending channel in place since August last year. The resistance line there broken at $34. But the key here is to remain above the 200-day line at $35. Above that, on an end-of-day close basis, we could head up to as high as $43 by the end of next month. Quite a handbrake turn there in terms of the price action, even though the 50-day line was rising, and that was suggesting a turnaround could be on its way. Onto a stock which is a personal favourite, largely because it's tended to go up and stay up as we wanted it to. Here we've got a V-shaped bull flag on Carvana, bounced off the floor of that gap basically from the end of last month, and looking to retest recent resistance around $55. Above that, we're looking for a best case scenario target as high as $71 as soon as the end of next month, i.e. Ideally we stay on the right side of the $50 mark on an end of day close basis. Good RSI rebounds, all of them above the neutral 50 level, so indicating decent momentum there at Carvana. On to new stock for, at least the recent past, EQRx. Here you can see that shares have gapped up, unfilled gap through the 50-day moving average. Also a bit of a handbrake turn in the sense that we were falling quite sharply before the turnaround. Initial target here on EQRx up to $2.40, then up to $2.80 by the end of next month. Ideally we stay on the right side of that 50-day line, now rising at $1.88. Freshwater is next, and here we've got a situation which is encouraging with that Massive gap to the upside yesterday. Ideally, we stay above the right side of $20 ahead of a move up to the top of that rising trend channel from basically the spring of last year, and that resistance line heading towards $25, and hopefully we could see that by the end of this month. But as I said, the key here, holding above that old resistance on the way down, and I suppose the middle of that gap there at $20. Next situation is Ttxade Health, and here gap to the upside through the 50-day moving average, which is obviously a decent, can be a decent signal. Here, I suppose we're just waiting for an end-of-day close through $11.70, which was, I suppose, neckline resistance back in January. Above that, we're looking for as high as $20 by the end of next month. Upside valid while we hold above the rising 50-day line at $8, but hopefully yesterday's support around $9.60 is enough, or $9.30 in fact is enough to stem any future or further losses after the slight pullback intraday yesterday. Rite is the next customer, and here you can see that we've had a nice push through the 50-day line. That's unfortunately not a gap, but still looking decent, and breaking through recent neckline resistance, which was around the $2.10 level, above $2.10 on an end-of-day close basis, looking for $3.10 and the 200-day moving average by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay on the right side of the $2 mark, but obviously we've got to factor in the possibility of a test of the 50-day line, now around $1.70 as new support before the shares break higher for good. On to T-Stamp, which is a decent situation set on the basis of this push through the 50-day line at $1.46. Above that, obviously the initial target was always going to be the 200-day line. We failed there a couple of times so far this year, but if we can get through that 200-day line at $2.76, target here as high as $3.80 by the end of next month. Big picture target maybe sometime later this year up to $7.60, but let's just stick to the $3 plus area, $3.80 if we can. On to the last two. First one is Vertiv, and here beautiful unfilled gap to the upside. The second one in the recent past. First one was back in May, so that massive move, and looking for the shares to hit the top of that rising trend channel and a resistance line from back in 2021, actually, way back in early 2021. That's heading towards $40. We're looking for that by the end of this month while we hold above yesterday's support area, which was around the $31.50 level. So above $31.50, looking for a push up towards $40 there on Vertiv. Massive move that we've seen. Finishing off with Vimeo, which is looking as though it is trying to get its act together. You can see that we've gapped through. We've actually been in a basing range between $3.20 and $5.20 over the recent past, but it looks as though with this gap, shares are signaling that they're trying to head higher in a meaningful way, sustained way. Recent resistance around $4.40. Above that, looking for $6 as soon as the end of this month at the top of a rising trend channel from back in October. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.